Hello all, welcome to TechTrapture. So in this video we are going to have overview of all the storage services in Google Cloud. So in this video we are not going to perform any kind of hands-on. So this video will be completely theoretical and we'll just see overview of all the storage services in Google Cloud. So in our later part of the video we'll do hands-on. We'll just deep dive into each of the storage services and we'll perform a lot of hands-on in our further videos. So this video is just overview to get idea of all the storage services in Google Cloud, because this will be beneficial to get overall picture of a Google Cloud storage landscape, and also it will help you to prepare for your certification exam. Okay, so let's jump into it and see what are the storage services available in a Google Cloud. So when we are talking about storage services in Google Cloud, so first and most important and most famous, we are having Google Cloud Storage. So this is the object storage in Google Cloud. So if you have having experience in AWS or Azure, so this is similar to S3 or Azure Blob Storage. So here you can just put data. So we can say it kind of unlimited storage. You can just dump your data. You can just audio file, video file, all kind of media file, unstructured data, CSV files, all kind of data you can put into Google Cloud Storage, and using this GS utility you can just work with all these files and data in your Google Cloud Storage. So this is the most famous storage service in Google Cloud. Then we have a persistent disk. So these disks are kind of the block storage which will be attached to your compute engine and used as a disk. So this is similar to EBS volume in AWS. Then we have Filestore. So Filestore is for file intensive workload. So this also can be attached with your compute engine and use for files. Then we have a Cloud SQL. So this is part of the relational database. So in Cloud SQL you can create different databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server. So this kind of relational database you can create in Cloud SQL. So this will be your managed database. So underlying infrastructure is taken care by the Google, and you have to just take care of your database instance. Okay. So then we have a Cloud Spanner. So this is a Google in-house product. So this is for the relational database, and this is kind of a global service. So Cloud SQL is a regional, Cloud Spanner is globally distributed, and it is having the capacity of or the feature of horizontally scalable. So you can add more node, more CPUs for your Cloud Spanner. Then we'll have AlloyDB. So this is specific to Postgres. So in Cloud SQL also you can use the Postgres, but this AlloyDB only applicable for Postgres, and you can create managed Postgres service with a better performance with AlloyDB. Okay, so when we are talking about AlloyDB, so it's for PostgreSQL. Then we have Cloud Data Store, which is a NoSQL database in Google Cloud. You can put a semi-structured or unstructured or flexible schema database, we can say, in Cloud Data Store. Then we have a Cloud Bigtable, which is time series database in Google Cloud. And then we have a Google BigQuery, which is a Google's famous data warehouse service. Now let's see a feature and purpose, when we should use which service, what is the use case for each service in detail. Okay. So first we have a cloud storage or a Google Cloud Storage. So purpose of using cloud storage is for object storage for unstructured data. So you can use images, videos, document for your archival backups. So all kind of data storage where you have a huge amount of data you can store on a cloud storage with a minimal cost. Okay, so in cloud storage the cost is comparatively low considering the other storage services. Then what are the key features of cloud storage? So it's scalable for storing massive amounts of data. So as I said, there is no limit of storing your data in cloud storage. So per object there is limit of 5 TB, so you can upload a single file of single object to 5 TB, but storing a complete data there is no limit on Google Cloud Storage. So there are multiple storage classes available in cloud storage. So if you want to access your data on day-to-day basis or frequently, you can use a standard storage class, and pricing will be different for standard. Then if your data is not frequently accessed and it is accessed once in a month, you can use a nearline, and the price is again lower compared to standard. If your data is used for archival and you are not accessed very frequently, you can use the cold line storage. So again the cost will be much cheaper compared to standard and nearline, and you have archive class where your data is accessed less than once in a year. So here again the pricing will be very less if you are not accessing data, but you will have to pay for the data if you are accessing very frequently within this tier. Okay, so these are the feature for saving your cost in a Google Cloud storage. So just keep in mind about the storage classes also, and just read in the documentation about the storage class. You will have a couple of questions on the storage class in your exams as well. Okay, then you can access this from anywhere through APIs or console. You can use GSUTL, you can use any of the programming language, or you can use console to just upload your data or download from the storage bucket. Okay, so by default your data is encrypted using Google managed encryption. If you want to add additional layer of encryption, you can use KMS encryption or you can use customer supplied encryption. So that option also you have in cloud storage. Use case, as I said, it's for media storage, backups, big data analytics, and all kind of unstructured and structured data. Okay, so that's all about cloud storage. Now let's see, the next storage is persistent disk. So these are the block storage for your compute engine VM. So you can just use this as a attached disk to your compute engine and you can store your data. So what are the key features? So it provides high performance and reliability. So suppose you have application on the compute engine and your application is using some of the files. If you are keeping that file on the storage bucket, definitely there will be more latency, there will be performance issues. So in that case you can keep the files on your server and your application can access that file locally and provide the high performance and reliability on your persistent disk. So there are different disk types. There are standard disks which are HDD, cost efficient. There are also SSD for high performance or IOPS intensive workload, mainly for the databases. If you are using the database on the compute engine, using SSD is recommended. Compared to standard, SSD will have more cost definitely, but yeah, if you are using the cloud, you have to trade off between cost and performance. And there are balanced disk as well, which provide mix of performance and cost efficiency, and your data is automatically replicated within same zone or a region. If you are configuring the replication, you can use snapshot for backups and restoration. So you can take a snapshot on retrieving basics. So you can take snapshot daily, weekly, and schedule the snapshot policy for your disk. The use cases: databases, web servers, and applications. This is about a persistent disk. Now let's talk about a file store. So this is managed network file storage for your system. It is kind of NFS storage. Okay, key feature: it will provide a low latency and high throughput for your file storage. It integrates seamlessly with a GKE as well. It scales to handle a file intensive workloads where your application is extensively working with the files, performing the operations on the file. Then using the file store is recommended. Use case mainly for content management system, media rendering, and DevOps pipe. So then let's talk about the Cloud SQL. Now we are into the databases. Cloud SQL is fully managed a relational database service. In traditional way, suppose you have to create a MySQL server. Then first you have to create a MySQL server, you have to set up your own RAM, CPU, network, everything, and then you will build or install your databases on that server. But if you are using the Cloud SQL, this is fully managed the database service where you just need to select what version of the database you need. So suppose if you need MySQL, if you need SQL Server, if you need a Postgres, you have to just select the version and it will just create the managed version for you. You don't need to do any kind of additional installation for your Cloud SQL. So this supports MySQL, Postgres, and SQL Server. Okay, so it helps you to get automatic backup, replication, and failover. So one of the zone goes down, it will help you to keep your database running in the other zone. It can also provide a configuration for backup in another region as well. Okay, so it maintains high availability using the regional failover. So you can failover from one zone to another zone, so that is high availability. Use cases: transactional system, e-commerce platform, and SaaS application. So remember, Cloud SQL is a regional service compared to Spanner. So Spanner is a global service. Even though one region goes down, your Spanner will keep running in another region. But you have to configure this for the Cloud SQL. One zone goes down, it will keep running in another zone. But if region goes down, then you have to configure that way, that backup and disaster recovery strategy for your Cloud SQL. Now let's see about Cloud Spanner. So as I said, Cloud Spanner is in-house database in Google Cloud. So this is completely managed relational database server which is globally distributed. So it is distributed in multiple regions. If one of the zone or region also goes down, it will not impact your Cloud Spanner because it is globally distributed. That's why the cost is also higher compared to Cloud SQL for Cloud Spanner. Also, it is a horizontally scalable. It means, what is the difference between vertical scaling and horizontal scaling? So let's take an example. If you want to scale vertically, currently if you are having 8 GB RAM, okay, for your server, and if you are adding 8 GB to 16 GB, it is kind of vertical scaling. You are adding more power to existing server. What is horizontal scaling? So in horizontal scaling, suppose if you have one server of 8 GB, you will add one more server of 8 GB, then one more server of 8 GB. So you are just keep adding the server. That is just horizontal scaling. In vertical scaling, you just add more configuration to the existing server. That's the vertical scaling. Okay, so here SQL based relational database with high availability. So this is again the relational database Cloud Spanner. So this is ideal for large scale application with strict consistency requirement and for global financial system and supply chain management. So where you don't need any kind of downtime, you can use the Cloud Spanner because it is having high availability and also globally distributed. So that is a Cloud Spanner. Next is AlloyDB. So AlloyDB is managed Postgres compatible database for modern high performance application. So remember, AlloyDB is only for PostgreSQL and not for any other database distribution. So this is provide a high performance for Postgres. Okay, this is fully compatible with Postgres, superior performance for transactional and analytical workload, AI powered database optimization, built-in high availability and disaster recovery, and use cases enterprise grade transactional application. So it provide a better performance and also the cost is more compared to your Cloud SQL, but this is fully managed by a Google Cloud. So this is hybrid transactional and analytic processing for HTAP as well. It can be used for modernizing legacy database to PostgreSQL. So these are some use cases for using AlloyDB. Let's see the next is the Firestore and Datastore. So this is NoSQL document database. So you can just compare it with your MongoDB. So it is kind of NoSQL document database in a Google Cloud. So it's for real-time synchronization across devices. It is fully managed and serverless. Easily integrate with Firebase for mobile and web application. Use cases is mobile and web application, chat system, and real-time analytics. So this is about Firestore and Datastore. It is NoSQL document database. You can remember this terminology here. Then we have a Bigtable. So for Bigtable, one important thing, this is wide column NoSQL time series database. So you have to keep remember that it is a time series database. It scales to petabyte of data. Okay, it provides low latency and high throughput. It is ideal for time series database and large data set. Use cases IoT and AdTech and personalization devices. So this is for table. And then we have a BigQuery. So BigQuery is serverless fully managed data warehouse service in a Google Cloud. So this is kind of Google Cloud data warehouse. So it will be used for BI application. So it processes petabytes of data. It supports NoSQL and integrate easily with all Google Cloud services. It is scalable with real-time data analysis capabilities, and it is pay-as-you-go pricing model. So based on the data you store and based on the analysis you will do using the queries, you have to pay for that queries and storage. What are the use cases? Business intelligence and reporting, where you store large amount of historical data as a data warehouse. The BigQuery is the best choice. It kind of data lake analysis, marketing analytics, and customer insight. So that was it for the Google Cloud Storage Services. Now just let me show you a summarized view in the tabular format. So you can use this table before going to exam or certification exam to understand a better way. So we have cloud storage, which is object storage used for media file backup, big data, unstructured data. Persistent disk is a block storage which can be used with compute engine. Then we have file storage for file storage using file intensive workload. Then we have relational databases, Cloud SQL, Cloud Spanner and AlloyDB. Then we have NoSQL databases, Firestore, Datastore and Bigtable. And then we have data warehouse, that is a BigQuery. So you have to keep in mind few of the terminologies here. So AlloyDB is for high performance managed Postgres. Cloud Spanner is for globally distributed relational database. Cloud SQL is for MySQL, MS SQL and PostgreSQL, a regional database. For data warehouse it is BigQuery. Time series database it is a Bigtable. So if you keep in mind this terminology, it will help you to answer the questions in the exam. So that's it for the storage services in Google Cloud. So as I said, this video was completely theoretical and I'll be jumping into each of these services with hands-on demo in our next videos. Okay, so we can check these videos, you can do hands-on and then you will have a better understanding of each of these services. So this was just overview of all the storage services in Google Cloud. So that's it for this video and we'll see you in a further video.